What's up, Eagles Nation? This is your boy, Bry Wolf with Eagles Real Talk, and we are back here to talk Eagles football today. We're going to get it started, but before we do, hit that subscribe button if you're new to the channel, and make sure to smash that like button and get down with ERT. We got a lot coming down as far as the Eagles news and, training camp, and, before we know it, preseason is going to be here, and then 9/11, we face off against the Detroit Lions in Detroit. So the season is going to be here before you know it. So let's get straight into it. This is the way too early season record prediction episode. We're going to predict the future. It's obviously really early, but we just signed James Bradberry. We got a very, very nice defense forming with some young pieces, and we got some guys coming back from injury. I think this defense is going to be top 5, and you know what? I think we're going to be one of the best teams in the NFL. But let's get straight into it. Let's talk about our schedule. So like I said, game 1 against the Detroit Lions last year, we smashed them. I think it was 44-6. We just completely took it to them in their house. So I don't see anything changing. I think it's going to be a similar result, something like 37-10, something like that. I think we're going to blow them out in Detroit, and we're going to start the season 1-0. Everyone's going to be hyped. And, I think we're just going to get it going really early. I think that's a game where our wide receivers eat. You know what I'm saying? I just think we just come out the gates and just make a statement early against a team that obviously they made some solid moves, and they did something in the draft. They got Aiden Hutchinson. They got Jameson Williams. They got some pieces. But at the end of the day, they still have Jared Goff, and no one is afraid of Jared Goff. And when he looks at Slay on one side, James Bradley, and all these, it's gonna be a bad day for Mr. Goff. But sometimes that's how it goes in this league. So game 2, we got a Monday night game, and that's against the Minnesota Vikings at home, our home opener. And if you have a good memory, or even a solid one, what happened last time they came to the Vikings came to, our house. As far as I can remember, it's the only game I remember that we ever played the Vikings. Now that I think about it, I can't remember any other game other than this one. It is when we smashed them in the playoffs on our way to, winning a Super Bowl on their home field. So that's the only game I remember when it comes to the Vikings. So I see something similar happening. They got Kirk Cousins, but honestly, our team is just flat out more talented. We're going to be at home. It's a primetime game, and if you know anything about Kirk Cousins, he doesn't do that well on primetime. So when the lights are brightest, he shrinks. So we're gonna start off the season 2-0, and we're gonna be extremely hyped, come Tuesday morning after that Monday night game. So I'm really looking forward to that game. And then we face off. We travel a little bit to Washington, and we play the Washington Commanders. Okay, make sure I say that right. The Washington Commanders, and they have a new quarterback. As we all know, Carson Wentz is now a Commander. So, I look forward to that game. That game is obviously going to be a very, very hype game that week. And if we do what we have to do those first 2 weeks, I don't see us losing to Carson Wentz in Washington. I just don't see that, especially after we won a big game there last year. Remember the stadium collapsed and almost injured a whole bunch of people. They try to take out Jalen Hurts. It was crazy. It was a crazy day, but we walked out of the stadium with a win that day, and we're walking out 3-0 after week 3 against the Washington Commanders. We're gonna get that dub against the W's. All right, so then is another fun game. We're back at home, and we're playing against the Jaguars, and now they have our old coach, which I still miss him to this day. I do. I really do. Dougie P. Doug Peterson is now coaching the Jaguars, and it's kind of funny. It's gonna be kind of funny seeing him over there. But I'm happy for Doug. He took a year off. He got this job, and I think they got a young team. But I think they don't have enough to beat us. Obviously, I think that's gonna be a very tough game for them coming to Philly. They're gonna be asking a lot of questions in the media. It's gonna be a heavy media day for Jaguars who don't usually get as much media, I'm sure. So that's gonna be a fun week, and we're gonna start the season off 4-0. Yes, 4-0. I got us 4-0, and we're gonna keep it pushing to week 5. I'm gonna be at this game in Glendale, Arizona. Looking forward to this game against the Arizona Cardinals. I think it's a perfect game for us to go in, swoop in. It's a battle of the birds in the desert, and we're gonna swoop in. We're just gonna get that W. You know what I mean? We're gonna fly in. It's I've seen the numbers when Hopkins is not there, and the little guy in Arizona, he don't throw the ball the same. When his number one guy isn't there. So I just got us, going 5-0 after week 5. We're just going to keep this ball rolling. And next we have the Dallas Cowboys at home. I believe it's a Sunday night game. Should be a very anticipated game. We're at home. Usually we face Cowboys at the end of the season. So this is kind of interesting. It's an interesting flip-flop on what we usually do with Dallas. So I think because we're switching it up, because we have got A.J. Brown, because this is going to be Jalen Hurts and Nick Sirianni's second year working together, and we added a whole bunch of pieces on defense. I don't even have to go through them, do I? Because you know what? We're going to take it to Dallas. We're starting off 6-0, baby. We replenished our defense. We got rid of some guys that were killing us, honestly, against a team like Dallas. They lost some players. They lost Amari Cooper. They lost Wilson. Their pass game is not going to be the same. I'll tell you that right now. And to say we have Bradbury and Slay, who are we scared of on Dallas now? I'll wait. There's nobody. We're going to take it to Dallas, and we're starting off this season after 6 weeks. We're 6 wins. I'm throwing up the 6 like Jordan after we start 6-0. Best believe it. Oh, and then if we start the season off 6-0 and we beat the Dallas Cowboys going into our bye, we are turned up. That week 7, we have a bye. We're going to be turned up all week. Because guess what? Then we have another this is a fun season. Let me tell you, I love this schedule. I just think it's going to be a really, really fun year for the Philadelphia Eagles. I just think, just looking at the schedule, it just fell perfectly together for us. And we go and we play the Steelers in a Steagles game, whatever they used to. The two teams combined in 1943, if you don't know, and they were the Steagles. Okay, so it was some Steelers players and some Eagles players, and they combined teams because some guys were fighting overseas in the war. I think it was one of the world wars back then in 1943. So it was a mess. So they combined teams, and so now this is gonna be a fun game, because obviously it's 2 Pennsylvania teams. So we'll see. But I got us going 7-0. And I'm not afraid of anybody on that side of the ball. Obviously, they're going to have either a rookie playing with Kenny Pickett. He's going to be starting. Or they're going to have, what's his name? He used to play for the Bears. And no one's afraid. No one's afraid of the Steelers on offense. And their defense is obviously solid, don't get me wrong. But we got the pieces now to contend with, when we're going up against a tough team. And honestly, our offensive line, we have the best offensive line in the league. So it's going to be a tough game for the Steelers, especially since we're going to be riding high. I think this team is going to be ultra focused after going 6-0. They're gonna have that bye week to kind of collect themselves, and we may start a little slow, but that's a team that I could see us not having too many issues with, to be honest. And then we go up against week 9. We travel to Texas, and we play the Houston Texans. The Texans. We play the Texans, okay? So that game, I'm also going to be in the house for my second game of the year. It's going to be a fun game. Should be me and my brother. He hasn't been to a game with me, so I'm going to try to convert him into an Eagles fan. So that's going to be a fun game, man. And, yeah, I'm looking forward to that, and that's definitely a W. I don't see nobody scares me on that roster. They're in rebuild mode, it seems like, for the last 20 years. Since they were a new franchise team in the NFL, they've been, pretty much in rebuild mode for a lot of years. I don't see them posing any type of threat to us. I have us going 8-0. Call me crazy. You can. It's fine. I don't mind it. Wouldn't be the first time. But we're going 8-0 after a week 9 win in November against the Houston Texans. And then after that, we travel. Oh, no, we travel back home. Oh, sorry, we're back home. It seems like we either home, away, which is kind of interesting. And we go back. We have a home game, and it's Carson Wentz's return to Philadelphia. And obviously, that's going to be a much-anticipated game. That's going to be we're actually going to have 2 primetime games in a row, because that Houston game that I was just talking about is a Thursday nighter. So that's going to be a fun game. We'll have, a little bit of extra rest. And then we play the Washington Commanders at home. And like I said, obviously, we cannot let Carson Wentz come to our house and get a W. It's not going to happen. He's probably going to throw 4 picks, 2 fumbles, and we're probably going to smash the Commanders that game. So that would be a good game to go to too. But yeah, so we have them Monday night. So that's going to be a fun game in Philly. And I got us 9-0. I know, it sounds crazy. Don't get me wrong. But I got us going 9-0. Okay, to start the season. So then we travel to the Colts. Now this is where I see this being our toughest game. I see that run game going to be clicking. Even though I'm not a big Matt Ryan guy, he's going to be, I think he's a good fit over there. He'll probably at least have a couple seasons over there. And, but I see them having a solid season. I could see them being like 8-3 or 8-2 by this time of the year. I think they're going to be one of the better teams in the NFL, surprisingly to maybe some of you, but I feel like they will be one of the better teams. And I feel like we're going to take an L that game. I think that's a game that we can get a little bit of humble pie. You know what I mean? We can, all pass it around, take a slice, and chill out a little bit. Expectations obviously still high, but at this point we'll be 9-1, and then we'll have to really collect ourselves, because then Aaron Rodgers is coming into town. I see this game as one of the games we'll have our Kelly Green jerseys, because if you know a little bit of Eagles history, we last time we had our Kelly Green was against the Packers, I think in like 2010, 11, 12, something like that. And that was the game Mike Vick came in for Kevin Cobb, and rest is history. So I think obviously Lori, the owner of the team, remembers that, and that's a game I feel like we'll be in Kelly Green. And if we have on Kelly Green, we cannot lose, baby. We will not lose when we wear Kelly Green. You can book that. So we're gonna beat the Green Bay Packers at home. Green Bay Packers aren't going to be as good as they used to be. I see Adams being gone. I don't know. I just don't see this Green Bay Packers team that special. I think they've been frauds. I think they've been very fraudulent, especially Aaron Rodgers in the playoffs. And I feel like last year, and then he contemplating not coming back or going to another team, and then he comes back, and then his number 1 wide receiver goes to Vegas, and he's partying in Vegas, and he's stuck in Wisconsin in the cold. And I just think he's gonna have maybe not his best year. So we'll see what happens. But we're starting the season 10-1, and we're gonna get that dub against Green Bay Packers. After that, we take on the Tennessee Titans at home. So we got back-to-back home games. And that Tennessee Titan is obviously going to be the A.J. Brown revenge game, especially since they've been talking crazy to him on his social media pages. They've been saying, he's a traitor, whatever. They've been talking shit to him, So he's gonna go into that game and probably want to put on a show. I see him going for like 157 yards, 2 touchdowns, something crazy like that against Tennessee, really stick it to his old team. And mostly the fans, obviously. So at that point, what are we? We're 12-1. We are 12-1 going to New York to play the New York Giants, and I mean, that's a W. I don't see us losing to the Giants, especially, at that pivotal point in the year when we're trying to, obviously keep it going, throughout the year. We're obviously, we're rolling at this point. The Giants, we're not going to walk in there and let them surprise us. We're just going to go in there and handle business. Take a train ride, take a, bus back home to Philly, and, we're not worried about them. That's not going to happen. So that's another win. So at this point, we are, we're 12-1. I believe we're 12-1. So then we take on the Chicago Bears in Chicago. That'll be December 18th. So it's going to be cold. It's going to be a cold game in Chicago. And it's a 1 p.m. game. I see that as another W. I see it as another W. I just call it like I see. I'm just calling it like I see it. Who's going to beat us on this team? On the Bears. So do we even have to talk about it? Justin Fields, I like them. They got some solid pieces, whatever, but they pose no true threat to a team like us, especially at the end of the year when we're supposed to be, clicking on all cylinders, and we should be taking care of business, no issues. So that's another W. So at this point, we're 13-1, and we're heading to Dallas to play on Christmas Eve. Now, I know, just like we all know, for one, we haven't been playing that well in Dallas over the past 3 or 4 seasons. For two, Jalen Hurts has not played well at Dallas. Now, he's only had 2 games there, so it's not like it's, some super big deal. But at the end of the day, we have been struggling at Dallas. But this is the year that all changes. It's a different year this year. We got a different squad, and we're going to go to Dallas, and we're going to get an early Christmas present. We're going to ruin their Christmas. We're going to play Grinch this year in Dallas, and we're going to get that W. And we're going to be 14-1. You know what I'm saying? So I'm loving this schedule so far. I think this is actually going to play into I think this is going to play right into our hands. Get Dallas at the back end of the season at Dallas. We're going to be rolling. They're going to be struggling. You know what I mean? They're going to be, looking for Amari Cooper, and he's not going to be there. Dak is going to, he's going to be running for his life probably, So we'll see, but I have us getting another win at Dallas. So what are we, 14-1? Can you imagine? Why not? Why not us? You know what I'm saying? So then we have a home game against the Saints. A lot of people I've seen, this is an L for a lot of people. Not me. Not Eagles Real Talk today. Today, that is a W. I don't care who the Saints added at wide receiver. They still are suspect at quarterback, and Jalen Hurts for 2 years in a row has owned the Saints for whatever reason. They have a really hard time against Jalen. And last I checked, their defense is mostly going to be the same. They didn't make that many improvements. I know they got the Honey Badger, but I mean, how much of a difference can he make? So we'll see. But I have that as another dub for Jalen Hurts and the squad. Okay, so now we're at 15-1. Last game of the season. Now, last year, I was very upset. I was very upset that we didn't play our starters, that we rested our starters for the majority of that game. I know Devontae, stepped in, got his record, stepped out, but it was a crappy game. I would have liked to have our starters in there, ride the momentum that we had for that season. That was a different season last year than this is. I think we should rest our starters against the New York Giants. If we're 15-1, we're obviously going to be at the top of the league. So I think if we do lose another game, this would be it. So just because we're going to be sitting our starters, it's going to be more of a rest week for us, a glorified bye week going into the playoffs. We'll have another bye, so we'll get plenty of time of rest. Yes, that could be rust. That could be some rust. But I think this team will be such a well-oiled machine that those 2 weeks of rest and then a home game in the playoffs, I think we're going to be right on point. I think that's actually a recipe for success for this team. They're going to be battling all year, and then they're going to get to the last game of the season, and they're going to rest and then get another bye. So, with that said, with going over the schedule, this is the way too early prediction episode, for the record. But I have us going 15-2. Call me crazy in the comments, or was I making a lot of sense? Was I too optimistic? Am I, getting too far ahead of myself? Let me know in the comments. I want to talk about it because the way I see it, it's going to be fly, Eagles, fly next year. The schedule lines up perfect for this team to do work, to just put on their helmets, strap on their cleats, and go in there and take care of business. And I think we're going to do it. And as of now, and I'm counting the additions to the team, the addition by subtraction, by getting rid of some of the guys that we had, just not even having them on the roster anymore. AJ Brown and Devontae Smith, and those two guys are going to be 1A, 1B, and then the growth of the coaching staff and the development of Jalen Hurts. It's really only his second year, guys. Let's be honest. I mean, if you want to count that first year when he played 3.5 games at the end of the season, and we were a terrible team, if you want to count that as a true year, you can. That's fine. But me personally, that was more of a redshirt year. You know what I'm saying? That was more of a redshirt year. This year is going to be his actual second true season as a starting quarterback. And I think he's going to do great. I don't think he's going to be the all-world or anything like that. But some weeks I think he's going to look awesome just because of the pieces he has around him. I mean, and the offensive line that's holding it down. I think this is going to be a great NFL season for the Philadelphia Eagles. I cannot wait. I cannot wait to see this team. You know what I mean? The regular season can't get here soon enough. September 11th versus the Detroit Lions. That's when we start this whole journey off. But until then, get down with ERT. You know what I mean? Hit that subscribe button and that like button. Get in the comments. Let me know how you feel. I want to get the vibe of Eagles fans and the community, the Eagles Real Talk community. I want to see where we stand right now. I took a poll. I think like 70% of people either voted for we would have 9 to 11 wins or 12 to 14 wins. Why not 15? You know what I'm saying? Why not? It happens every year, every other year. Some team that wasn't as good the year before, just boom, just everything just clicks in the offseason. And Howie, man, look at what Howie did. Look at what Howie did. We were down on him, after that Rager pick. We really were. That pick really soured a lot of Eagles fans. It truly did, because we could have obviously got JJ. Jefferson, he's now on the Vikings. We're going to play against him week 2. That's going to be interesting. He's going to be in Philly. That's going to be interesting. I didn't talk about that earlier, but that's going to be interesting and fun, obviously. But now we got A.J. Brown. So, everything happens for a reason sometimes with, players we get, players we don't get, players we draft, players we don't draft. I think this could be a real big year for the Eagles. And I want to know how you feel about it in the comments. I am Bry Wolf. We're going to be really, really diving into this season real soon. OTAs and, little training camp stuffs are happening right now, but the real training camp is on the way soon. And then preseason will be here before you know it. And then we're going to be going this year. Obviously, I'm a little hyped up. I'm ready for this season. I'm pretty excited for what this season is going to entail for the Eagles. So let's get it in this year. Hit that subscribe button. Hit that like button. You know what it is. Fly, Eagles, fly. Keep it real always.